couple days ago, but even then, taking a game off of the #2 LPLC has surprised people with how good Golden Guardians have looked. So if R7 can pull off this upset, that would be massive.
It certainly has, and I'm ready to see exactly what the focus is going to look like. Already, picks and bans have been shifting slowly but surely over the course of this tournament. The Poppy, the Rumble taken away. Clearly trying to focus Licorice, take him out of the equation on the opposite side. Miru.
Getting some respect on the Silas. He was first rotationing that one within the first 3 picks. Seeing how good he was on it, Golden Guardians were saying, yeah, we don't want to deal with that. That might have been a bit of a call out in this particular matchup because the other team was taking Lissandra early, so you could slam that one. But yeah, very cool stuff.
Yeah, and for now, Golden Guardians going to be happy with the first pick, Vi. We'll see what exactly they want to pair it with. Now, I think
Cough, Ari.
Yeah, easy. Feels like a pretty easy call, right,
Yeah.
overall. I don't know if that's something that R7 are going to want to take away here. Now, in general, I think the moments, and specifically the early games that have looked the best for R7 are a lot about Audi and Lions grouping up and getting pressure in the mid lane, setting up Miro to really snowball. So taking the Silas away maybe limits some of the champions you can do that on. And Zeri coming out here, probably going to get paired with the Lulu, I would assume. Those 2 champions, a little bit more survivability into something like the Vi, a little bit easier to keep that Zeri alive.
Yeah, we've seen a couple things. One, Audi playing around Miru a ton. That is a similar playstyle to how Golden Guardians plays. River does play around Gory quite a bit, so there will be probably some explosive 2v2s coming in. On the flip side, Stixxay kind of got destroyed by Elk. It was kind of painful to watch. Seo was one of the really good performing members of R7 yesterday, so maybe that's an angle where they're trying to pull away the Zeri for Stixxay, who's quite good at it, as well as the fact that the Xayah has been banned, means the Xayah-Rakan combination not on the table. Kennen did get through.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Now, if you watch, we've really only seen a single Kennen game. It was Broken Blade on that Kennen. And in general, this is a champion that we don't expect to be seeing going through much at all just because of how incredibly powerful it is on the patch. You do still need to execute on it to see what Licorice can do and see also what Bong's response is going to be, what he wants to pick into this particular champion. Lissandra will be the final pick in the first rotation, balancing out, at least limiting some of the kill pressure that the Ari and Vi can bring to the table.
Yep, post 6 can always just drop your ultimate on yourself to try and survive, buy time for your jungler to show up. But yeah, the Kennen coming through for Licorice. It's really cool that both him and Bong have really stepped up this tournament. I think coming in, people were expecting them to be potentially some of the weaker top laners in this portion of the tournament, and that's not been the case at all. I think you can make the case that they have been amongst the best. Broken Blade obviously playing incredibly well, but then Licorice and Bong are right in that conversation with Bin not looking as good as I think a lot of people were expecting. They thought he would be tearing up this portion of the tournament and had actually quiet games in comparison.
Yeah, I had definitely struggled a little bit, but obviously an opportunity for Licorice to show really what he's capable of, and now on the strongest champion on the patch, I would say, at least on the top side of the map on the Kennen, really have to prove it, because this is something the team has invested in, and the cost of investing in something like the Kennen here does mean that the 80 carry pool is getting pitched, the Jinx and the Lucian taken off board. Now, interestingly, Aphelios is still up and available, but Golden Guardians haven't played it yet, so it seems like R7 may be throwing down the gauntlet here.
Yeah, Aphelios was not something that Stixxay played a ton during his time on Golden Guardians. But he's been fairly good on all of the meta champions. He only has 1 game of it thus far this year, but I have no doubt that he can play a competent version of it. I assume they'll go for something like the Aphelios Thresh, but it is uncommon in the current meta to see your bot lane entirely left for 4-5 in this portion of the draft.
And I'm gonna hold my breath on that one. It will be the Aphelios. All right, not as thrilling, not as crazy, not as spicy, but yeah, with a lot of these more unique targeted bans coming through in the draft, we've been seeing this a lot over the last 2 days especially. It means a lot of the conventional meta OPs, in this case Annie, still up and available. Is this what they're going to want to go for here?
It's possible. It's very tempting to want to pair that up.
A very AP heavy composition though.
Yeah, you have Aphelios very happy to pelt away from the back line.
Right.
Not a ton of tank options yet. Bong might slam something up in the top side, but then you're getting a favorable matchup. If he does go for the Malphite,
and he will.
Insta-lock, baby. All right.
All right, looking across the board, Golden Guardians have pick of the litter in terms of meta powerhouse picks. Now, Vi and Wukong, in theory, comparable, but in terms of ease of execution, both sides looking for a pretty solid jungle mid setup. I think maybe a little bit more team fighting power on the side of R7, just because, again, it's a lot easier to execute Wukong, Malphite, Lissandra. You just all push your buttons. It's a little bit harder to find those Kennen flanks.
Yeah, for the side of Golden Guardians, they do have a nice pick comp. You can always flash stun with the Annie, instantly get follow-up, or any one of these people can really start the fight, Kennen as well. But to that point, it's a little bit more difficult outside of that one target to blow up. To team fight, obviously, Lissandra, Wukong, Rakan, and Malphite, no joke in team fights. So Golden Guardians potentially have the stronger early game here. We'll see if R7 can kind of weather it and probably get to these mid to late game team fights on even footing is the game plan you would expect out of them.
And I think it is a really good call out, because again, the best version of R7 we've seen has been a lot of early snowballing, specifically around mid lane, but Wukong Lysandra is just a much slower mid and jungle duo. Level 6, yes, they have a lot more kill pressure, but Lysandra's early game setup CC can't really fully be leveraged by Wukong just because pre-Divine Sunderer damage isn't high enough to burst through most champions, unless they're caught slipping, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that early jungle pathing. Getting ready now for the first game in this best of 3. Again, loser eliminated from the tournament will not get a chance to play for any further. To play for the bracket stage. It's a long road ahead for both sides. Find out who comes out on top as we get ready. Game 1, Golden Guardians versus Movistar R7.
On to the Rift for game 1 of the best of 3. Winner moves on to play tomorrow against the winner of the second series today. Loud versus PSG. But first, they're gonna have to win 2 games here.
River walking up, hitting him with the loud emote, knowing.
Wait, we have to go mid lane right now. Cut to mid, please. They are dancing next to each other.
Oh.
Gory typed in chat, dance, and Miru gave him a smiley face and danced together.
Honestly, that's fantastic sportsmanship. If anyone auto attacks, this will never be forgiven. But I love moments like that. You could auto, you could walk around for vision, but everyone's just hanging out, having a good time. Nobody tried to sneak in and place any deep boards. They all just hand shook on a brief break, a pause, a moment of camaraderie before we get into what very well could be a do or die bloodbath.
I also think Gory was playing the crowd there because he knew he would get the camera on him doing that, and then he flashed the loud emote, probably the loudest fan base here in London thus far. So very heads up stuff there by Gory, min-maxing screen time.
Yeah, someone did, CO. Did go for the hit there. Who has the stun now prepped, holding on to it. Second you get rid of that stun, it takes a long time at level 1 to charge it up again, so just holding on to it, letting the threat of the potential stun be the factor that gets them a bit more control here.
Yeah, nice trading though, level 1 from Golden Guardians, getting some harass down, getting control of the wave. Should hit 2 first. Stun might be coming up soon if he can keep landing this poke down.
Oh, Louis walking up. See who can get the level 2 first if they want to get aggressive on that one. They call him with the Q start level 1 just for a bit of extra sustain, but they're going to lose a lot of prio very quickly in this lane as soon as they tick over. 2 creeps left. Huhi just walking up. It looks like E-casting, just using that to get a bit of poke damage down.
Throwing the long-range Annie auto. Something that's always been secretly OP about Annie's kit has always been she's got really good attack range and animations.
Yeah,
for harassing in lanes.
Just continuously walking up, holding onto the stun, essentially just always having the option to shut down the recon engage. As we see Audi poking his head around the mid lane, but as we have a breath here, Mark, reminder that you can log in with your Riot account and watch MSI on lolesports.com to earn exclusive MSI emotes and icons throughout the entire tournament. Even you here, you just pull the stream up. You double watch. Get those angles, get those rewards.
If you don't get a drop, it's because Riot doesn't like you. Everyone who gets a drop, best friends with Riot. You can tell that to everybody. It's already incendiary enough when people don't get their drops. I figured I'd throw a little gasoline on that.
That's nice. That's exactly what the people need.
I'm sure.
Speaking of amping up the fire, obviously Huki's still on the bottom side. And bot lane getting the pressure, I think, as expected here. We'll see what happens as we get later into the game. But again, we talked about this in draft. R7's comp early on, a lot of difficult laning phases. Yes, Miru has the push right now, but other than mid lane, it's really hard for them to get pressure much of anywhere.
Yeah, you can see Audi pathing top to bot, whereas River working up to his pressure point with Stixay in the top side, or excuse me, Licorice on the Kennen in the top side, trading sides of the map. But I think a lot of people saw what happened to Stixay and Huhi against Elk and were like, oh, they're probably not good laners. That's the problem. But it's like, no, I think Elk is just one of the best AD carries in the world. You can't expect everyone to do that to them.
It's the uploaded Unflexion on World. Instantly gonna get the Q flash in, and oh, baby, first blood for Golden Guardians. River, full confidence executing that play. Now walking down. Gonna spank the monkey here.
Huhi on the roam.
Moving up, Smite now coming in. Thumbs up, the loud icon. River's on a tear today. He gets the icon, he gets the crowd on his side, he takes the enemy mid laner out.
I feel like Golden Guardians coordinated the loud icons to try and play to the fans, but very nice first blood there by River. Something that he is well known for within the LCS is his early plays, especially around mid lane, working with Gory, clearing up to the top side. No vision really up there to know when that play was coming in.
And also just highlighting the press the attack start, opting for something where he can get just a little bit more immediate damage down in the early game. Hui continuing to walk up. Miru,
Oh boy.
this is
Does
annoying.
flash.
Instant stun, the charm, the perfect CC layering, a lot of damage, and now it's unlaneable for Lissandra. One more anti-auto ticking, burning. Oh my god. Shut down.
Miru greeted the flash. He wanted to keep it up, thinking that from full health they would not be able to kill him, but the ignite by He let them find that second kill. Golden Guardians having a great start to this game.
And I want to call back to what you said earlier. You talked about people watching 6A's game against Elk and saying, hey, maybe this is a point of weakness. But it looks like Golden Guardians watched the games yesterday and said, hey, Rainbow Seven very reliant on Miru in that mid lane. They put so much resources into shutting him down. It lines up with how they like to play the game anyway, and it's really paying off. 6A flashing out to safety now, can go for the root onto at least one. Leaving Quill not going to do enough damage to find that kill.
Loses both summons there. Nice little bit of aggressive trading by R7. Going to get him lower. Both people will probably take a back after clearing out this wave. But I will say this is, again, something from the LCS you see frequently, is Hui leaving the lane and making plays around mid lane. They love, as the kind of Korean-speaking trio between Gory, River, and Hui, to move out of lanes, especially to attack Gory's lane, excuse me. So Hui moving here with a playmaker. No surprise to see this happen. Burns down Miru, who's just not used to this level of aggression.
Gory level 6. They're going to get the ult out from him, but burning some resources in the mid lane. Of course, Flash was burned by the bottom lane. Both bottom laners, I believe, in the duration of that replay. So not quite sure exactly how that happened, but kill pressure on bot side is going to be something that has to be respected. And right now, everything going in favor of Golden Guardians. Yes, they are favored in the early game, but more often than not in pro play, that means pressure, that means maybe plates or an objective. It does not mean kills. That extra advantage. Stun on the top side. Cannonball now coming out. River walking up. He's only level 5. Bong now trying to back up. Speeding out to safety. One more stun. Bong will be able to walk away for now. Still has the Unstoppable Force. Still has the flashes. Held on to everything, but he does not have the teleport. Crucially, he just came back to lane. He's going to lose at least a plate here. Oh, and that tower's just going to delete all these minions.
Yeah, I was about to say, one of the nice things for Golden Guardian with all this focus around the bot and mid lane is it's given a lone time for Licorice to build up a huge CS lead, coming up on 30 CS already. And then River shows up once again to force him back. Start grabbing turret plates as well. Nice response by R7, capitalizing on the fact that River has been spending most of his time on the top side of the map, as well as the summons that they forced just prior to this, starting the dragon stacking in their favor.
Mark, I don't know how you view things in the LCS, but is a 2K gold lead at 7 minutes good?
It is indeed. It is something you would be happy about. But I will say, in the games yesterday, yes, hold on, we'll hold this for this potential invade.
River around the corner, walking in, stealing. Finding that objective. Audi hitting level 6. Now River needs to walk away, but Audi trying to find that kill. Hui over the wall with the stun. River gonna walk! Oh, Audi, no, that should have been a free kill. Yes, you got the objective, but now can you make it out of safety? He does so much damage to the bot lane. There, looking to follow up. Sticks a perfect guns for a fight. They're debating. Can they go in? Gory, level 6 on the way. Ult in 7 seconds, counting down left side of your screen. You can see those ulti cooldown timers getting closer and closer, but they're not going to have the avenue of attack. He gets the red buff, he gets out, it costs the flash, but it feels like that just should have been a kill.
Felt so close, just maybe one more auto attack would have finished off River there. Still happy about the play, stealing away the red buff, getting the flash out of Hui, someone who's been a bit of a menace in this early game, means that there's not going to be a flash bear coming on top of you at level 6, so does also relieve some pressure that is coming from these roams. A nice answer there by Audi. And I'm glad that happened because I was about to say how the games yesterday, you could not take a gold lead fully on face value. Games tended to get very messy.
Yeah.
People who got early leads, somehow they slipped away. So we've seen that R7 can be scrappy. They can find ways back into these games, and it's something that Golden Guardians have to be very careful of to not let plays like that happen if they want to get a nice clean win here.
Certainly, and something you highlighted as well in the draft is that they don't really have that true tank either. So when it comes to the threat of a pick on the opposite side, even if Golden Guardians have sometimes better tools for finding those picks, all the squishy health bars on their side means that they can be quite vulnerable if they're caught out of position here. But Gory, ulti available. River, ulti available. Golden Guardians surely can make a play in the next few moments, but they're happy for now just to have that uncontested Herald from the top side.
Very nice vision control by the side of Golden Guardians. You're going to see this massive amount of wards dropped into the top side of the map. And during that time, R7 wanted to leak out down to the bot side, but 6A playing safe, backing fully off the turret temporarily. Miru didn't even bother full roaming down there, knowing that Golden Guardians was aware of the cross-map play potentially coming through. So nice to get some turret plates back in the pocket of Seo there on the Zeri, start the scaling up even in gold about, but the question is now where Golden Guardians will attack with this Rift Herald.
Yeah. If they can keep forcing the ultimate out of the Malphite in lanes, it's really going to diminish the potential here for R7. to make a play of their own. River now coming up, maybe anticipating the counter gank. They did, I believe, spot Adi briefly on the control ward above the Krugs. So taking their time. Bong maybe falls into security here.
Yeah, they saw the recall come through. River sticking around, waiting for this wave to push up a little bit.
You win, should be an easy follow-up. Immediate cannon ult is going to get used, and simple and clean. Easy execution on the top side. Bong again. Thought that the enemy top laner would give him a bit more respect. Thought that they would still think the jungler was there, but Golden Guardians had the information they needed. Quick, easy play. That's the power of the Vi. Such simple execution.
Yeah, not even going to bother dropping the Rift Hilt here. Oh, I spoke half a second too soon.
Caster Curse.
I was about to say they're going to save this one potentially because they're getting enough plates on their own, but no, Golden Guardians do want to drop it right now. Finish off this top turret. Hear the crowd cheering for the charge as Shelly finishes off the first turret of the game. This gold lead up to 4,000 just 10 minutes in.
This is a play. This counter play has to get something done, but 6A quick cleanse flash out to safety. A slow, but no root. Doesn't need to use it quite yet. Golden Guardians walking away. 2 summoner spells burned on the top or bottom side, but trading that for a kill in a tower is not a good deal. 4.5 thousand in favor of the Golden Guardians. Crushing gold advantage. And you talked about it, scrappy games, yes, but at a certain point, gold leads do start to feel insurmountable.
Yeah, it's getting close to that one. I do like R7 attacking the bot side there, trying to finish off 6A, but one thing that has leveled up for Golden Guardians across this season, especially in the postseason, was Licorice on carries. During the regular season, a lot of time on weak side, Renekton. He was going Jack Show Renekton. It was kind of gross to look at sometimes. But he has leveled up.
Show Renekton.
You know, he's frontlining. He knew what his job was. Weak side frontline Renekton. But in playoffs, adapting and playing a lot more carries, having clean rumble games of all things. Kennons, Fioras, different angles that people were not used to seeing. And it's created a Golden Guardians team where it feels like in any single game, someone can be the carry. It could be Licorice, it could be Gory, it could be Stixay. And it does enable them to kind of absorb pressure at different points on the map. And so here, Stixay actually up in gold despite all the attention they've been getting. He's lost his flash. He's had to absorb a lot of these plays. But that's something he's comfortable doing, knowing that the rest of the map is getting snowballed this heavily.
And he's still quite comfortably scaling up. No boots yet, but does have the Gale Force. Not doing bad whatsoever. So it's not even like it's a weak side where you're trading even or suffering. It's a weak side where you're giving up a bit of pressure, maybe giving up a plate, but you haven't given away any more significant advantages than that. R7, now that that tower's down, it does free them up for these brief moments of time as Kennen starts to push the wave to maybe fish and look for a play, but Golden Guardians aware of this, backing off, conceding control of the bottom side of the map, knowing that they have that Kennen pressure point on the top, waiting for Malphite to show.
Yeah, I want to see what happens with this second Dragon, because one thing for R7 yesterday that was noticeable was they weren't super on top of the timers of things in some of the setups. And while they do have the first Dragon stack, Golden Guardians do have the gold lead, so they might shove R7 off here. But at some point, R7 will need to take a fight, pick that this is the time that we stick our flag in the ground, going to make a stand. I don't know if it's around this Dragon or if they want to wait for a couple more Mythics to come online, because they are down Mythics in a couple positions right now. So they'll probably give this one up for free, but it's second, third Dragon before this side of Golden Guardians continues to run away with gold lead.
Yeah, and at this point in the game, if you're going to make a big decision about where to fight on the side of R7, it's a pretty high-stakes decision. You really need to pick your moment well, and that's a lot of pressure on a stage like this. You talked about it on the desk already. First, best of win for the region yesterday, and now you're coming to a situation already in game one where it feels like you've got maybe 1 or 2 more shots at a big fight to kind of come back in the game, short of Golden Guardians making a massive misstep. So picking that window of opportunity, finding that avenue to really leverage the massive amount of AoE that you have on this composition is key.
Audi going in, potentially.
There. Ore now backing away. That's going to be the ultimate. The charm! Buffered! Coming through. Beautiful move from Gory.
Doesn't even lose his ult because he was able to time that charm so cleanly right as the ultimate from Lissandra was coming in. It actually is a relatively telegraphed ultimate.
Yeah.
We'll see if they want to go on top of Seo here. But a lot of the times you can buffer abilities into the Lissandra ultimate when it starts casting on top of you. And so he knew that there was the fact that he could see Audi on the ward, that this was coming in. Landing that charm means that he doesn't even have to blow his ultimate to get out safely.
No, that is clean, and that's got to be so frustrating because for R7, they burned a lot of resources there. Lissandra ult now down, a lot of Audi's time now burned, and Stixay now getting support from River. Now that the other lanes are doing fine, now that the other lanes are winning in isolation, Stixay can finally reap the benefits, reap the rewards. He no longer has to be that weak side bot laner, has the Gale Force, has the entire team ready to play around him. Uhi, though, just continuing to try to take control of this River, laying down a bit of vision.
Yeah, like you said, flipping their vision from the top side, which we highlighted earlier, down to the bot lane, knowing that this is where they want to make their moves from now on. Gory, most likely, once he gets shoved in lane, finishing off his Everfrost now, can clear the wave, make moves through the jungle, down to the bot side, combo with River. I think they have their eyes set on breaking this bot lane open for the side of Golden Guardians. They could also potentially go to a 1-3-1 lane setup and put the Ahri down early, but
yeah. MasterCard goal difference kind of telling you the story of this game. The one lane that had time in isolation. The only thing saving them is that they have the smallest gold difference, which is not a great look in this first game.
Yeah, a lot of the times you see at least one position, the place where the enemy team hadn't been attacking, to be up in gold. Sometimes that was Miro in the mid lane, but not the case here.
Ooh, R7. This is a tricky angle to come in under the fight. Playing on red side means they don't have an easy way to walk in. Just have to walk through the choke. And against Huki, yes, he doesn't do a ton of damage, but he just gets so much control over this area. Should be an easy take here. R7, bit of a spectator play. Feels like a little bit of indecision there. Not quite sure what they wanted to do. Ideally, you're either contesting or you're not. But just walking up there means they're spending a lot of time for essentially nothing in the end.
Yeah, I can feel R7's perspective where it's like, we keep giving everything to Golden Guardians, we have to contest them, but then you press tab and you look at the item completions and you're not even in the same ballpark in terms of being ready to fight yet. So, of course, you have to back off there. Would have been much better if Seo stayed in the bot lane, tried to potentially go for just a push on the bot side like they did on the first Rift Herald. Instead, both AD carries going to stay mid. Like I was saying, you can potentially go into a 1-3-1 lane setup here for Golden Guardians. Have River playing around the Ahri in the bot side, dropping this Herald immediately. Quick trigger finger on these Heralds.
I kind of like it overall, just trying to up the pace of the game, and it makes a ton of sense. Again, really the only way you lose this game is if you slow down, if you give the enemy team time to scale. As long as we're in this mid-game status, and especially now that all these towers are down, Ahri and Vi are just going to have a field day. It is so hard now with all those towers taken out to control the entire map, to have perfect vision in your own jungle, and if Gory's waiting in a bush, very likely going to be dead.
Yeah, Bong getting chunked out there, just trying to tank the minion wave. 6,000 gold lead now for Golden Guardian. Saving grace, can't get perfect gamed, already have a dragon.
You're digging deep, though. That's all I'll say.
I'm a bright sider, I gotta say. I can find the positive in anything. I can also find the negative in anything.
That's true. I've heard that one firsthand. I'm just saying, at a certain point, bright siders, it all goes to the same place. It'll be a quick death, you know. And that's I'm just saying it's not really the bright side.
Painless.
Stixxay. I don't know. Yeah, it's feeling like it's hurting a little bit here in this early game. And again, it's a bit of a struggle. It feels like Golden Guardians got so many power picks in their draft, and R7 maybe they got what they're comfortable with, but GG clearly pushing the gold lead, snowballing, taking control, and not really giving an option for R7 to do much of anything.
Yeah, I gotta say, some things were surprising bans to me on red side. Tristana has been a staple for Golden Guardians in terms of flex picks on their red side strategy. Doesn't heavily involve Cassante, Tristana, stuff like that. But their blue side strategy generally doesn't rely quite as much on flex picks. So leaving up all the OP power picks maybe wasn't the best idea, giving them almost all the Golden Guardians.
Waiting, coming in over the wall, going to look for the second stun. They're immediately going to go for the knock-up here now on the retreat. River now coming out. Stixxay isolated. Stixxay going to get taken down. He'll get a bit of damage back in return. So that's going to be one kill. Will they keep the fight going? Gory now ready to step forward. Oh, GG debating. They have control over the pit. They have the angle in. R7 kind of just want to walk away with the prize that they're able to get. They burned so many resources. They do still have Bong's ultimate. Seo not having ultimate, though, really going to limit the combat effectiveness. And wow, they're trying to keep that going, but Adi still gets stunned in the end. Immediately, they're just going to burst down the jungle. Gory coming over the wall, waiting, has the charm for now. Instantly going to hit the enemy AD carry. Seo taken out. They're trying to turn it back now. Bong burning. Miru, they just don't have the damage to kill Golden Guardians, but River certainly does. Licorice now coming in. He's going to find one. He's going to look for another. Miru surely falling here. The body block from Lions is clutch. Oh, the Rakan, hero of the day, saving the president on that one. Gory going to hit the charm, though, and it's just a slaughter into this tower. Golden Guardians.
Oh, Lions, no!
So low. The smite going to finish him off. Golden Guardians able to get so many kills. Two members of R7 walking away with blinking health bars.
Surprising engage by Golden Guardians there. No ultimates left for R7, like you said, except for Bong. And then Licorice pulling the trigger despite not having their AD carry there. Finds 4 more kills, I believe it was. 3 more for Golden Guardians, excuse me. And the Dragon on the back end of that. A nice engage to start that all out for R7, finding Golden Guardians a little asleep in how they were approaching the Dragon, feeling maybe a little overconfident, a little disjointed, getting on top of Stixxay, but it cost them so many ultimates there. Probably have to back off the second Dragon after they found that one, because here, you can see it. Annie jumped on, kind of splits the rest of the fight. River has to use his ult to the right side, which leaves Stixxay exposed to the left, and they have so many engage tools, like we said, that you can kind of use one on the Annie without overcommitting and having the rest up. But then the second part of this play is not wanting to give up the Dragon despite the kill, but no ultimates except Bong left available means Golden Guardians kind of jump into this funnel, which would normally be a death sentence against how many AoE ultimates R7 have. Not able to get punished. Them trading out aggro pretty well here on the side of Golden Guardians. Seo trying to get over the wall. the last-second W from Licorice. I thought when he shot the anti-bear over the wall, the burn was going to finish someone underneath the turret. Very heads-up play to catapult the bear in there to actually tank the turret aggro initially.
I mean, excellent play, and of course, I mean, on the opposite side, support play as well, the Rakan leaping into body block the shuriken at the last possible second. But R7 certainly struggling on the back of that one, and ooh, you can see why Kennen is a strong champion. Gory over the wall. It's an absolute slaughter. Lions can't save anybody this time around. Another member TPing in, potentially just to his own death. Miro, this is not your tower anymore. Following up here, just barely able to walk away. Golden Guardians really just walking this one down. Pretty much a foregone conclusion at this stage as they siege onto the tier 2.
Yeah, 5-man death squad charging down the mid lane. They have these pickoff tools, like we said, fishing for charms, fishing for stuns with Huhi.
Bong forced to ult out. And I'm going to be honest right now, I'm not sure what R7 are doing even approaching the wave in this circumstance. I guess they're hoping that Golden Guardians are going to go for a misstep, but they don't really have an angle there. They walk up to not clear the wave and are just forced to use their Malphite ult.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't, because if you just back off the 5-man push in the mid lane, you're going to lose an inhibitor 20 minutes into the game. So it makes sense that R7 is trying to posture around and wave clear, but it's just very difficult down this much gold to actually have an effective defense.
See what can happen for them in the next few minutes for now. Golden Guardians, 8K gold lead, continuing to grow, continuing to snowball, taking more and more control of the map. Baron surely the next big objective that they can look towards. We highlighted it before, but no true tank means that they could have to be careful here, but honestly, River's so tanky it might not matter.
Almost no wards out for the entirety of R7.
Bong, no unstoppable force this time around. That is a very, very stoppable force. Bong taking off the map one more time.
A single ward on the side, or 2 now after they place 1 more, but just no vision down on the side of R7 to see these kinds of plays coming from Golden Guardians, who have so much map mobility, so many tools to find pickoffs. That one onto Bong. R7 looking for the counter engage, so, but just only forcing Licorice back.
Oh, and it's so hard now, too. You have to catch all this farm, but you really want to make a counter play because you're just slowly being bled out. Good news for them is that control from Golden Guardian is not that deep in their jungle quite yet. There's still a lot of tier 2 standing, so they haven't lost too much. There's still a lot of avenues for them to pick up the CS, but right now, Licorice, I mean, level 13, 3-0-3, can absolutely solo or double kill probably any combination on the side of R7, especially now when he has the Banshee's Veil up and available. It's just hard to layer that CC really effectively.
Broken Blade would be displeased, not rushing all damage items on his Kennen.
I like the Proto Belt, though. At least you want Proto Belt. You know, you got a lot of Rift Maker people. You want the sustain. Oh, but that's the isolation. The ulti now coming out. He's doing a ton of damage, but they burned him down. That's the shutdown. It took 3 members, but they made it work. Huhi off to the side. Audi now needs to make it out to safety, flashing out. Gory trying to keep the fight going. The Vi in the backward side of the fight, keeping things going. Lions trying to save the rest of his team. Gory still just continuing to throw down damage. Stixay over the wall, but he can't get into the fight. Stixay can't get into the fight. That wall stopping so much. The mobility from Rainbow 7 keeping them standing for now. Huhi immediately gonna flash over. Stixay is gonna do so much work. He's finally into the back line. And here come the Chakram. Here comes the Aphelios. Huhi keeping the bear going. Golden Guardians, at the end of the day, still taking the fight.
A nice start out for R7 there, finding the pickoff onto Licorice, but just too much follow-up from the side of Golden Guardians. River gives his life to keep that play going, buying time for Stixay to come around the backside of the fight with all those chakrams stacked up from the White Gun ult. After that, going to go right onto the Baron. A little slow, like you said, also not having that many tanks. The Bear dies, means Huhi's going to be in trouble here.
No, they're good now. Stixay just had a swap guns. Purple's useless. But you can see here, it's a good pick. This is a hard thing to do. They take a lot of damage, but they are able to shut down Licorice. That's big.
Yeah, Miru landing the E damage to proc the Banshee's Veil means that his ultimate will actually be able to land without needing a Q or anything like that. They find that initial pick off without taking too much damage, but they just can't get out because too many members of Golden Guardians were nearby. Stixay has to go the long way around using the Bear as a front line as he kind of closes in on this fight, choking them out. No way to escape really for R7 here. Stixay cleaning house, getting a triple kill.
And at that stage, there's just too many low health bars. And you can see R7 felt like maybe they could keep the fight going, like they wanted to burst down Gory. But the second they don't immediately back off or turn on the Aphelios, which would be a pretty tough task, the fight is just very, very much over. Second items coming through for Seo, though, maybe going to be enough in the fights to come. Again, layering the CC proved to be quite effective, but finding the angles is only going to get harder as Golden Guardians take more and more control over this map.
Did grab the Baron for Golden Guardians, get the 3rd Dragon as well to keep the stacking going, have a minion wave in the bot side to naturally rotate to after grabbing that objective. R7 in the meantime trading up for the top turret, trying to get some objective bounties into their back pocket, make them a little bit stronger for what will be a base defense, as I'm sure Golden Guardians want to play aggressive they will see the end of the game in their eyes.
There's a debate now. Do they back off and try to respond to Lissandra? I think they just keep the pressure going and force Liss to recall. Not really enough of a wave there to break down the tower, and Liss definitely not a big side lane threat when it comes to taking down structures. Mira returning. Golden Guardians posturing. Bong gonna look for an angle immediately onto the backside, trying to take Stixie out. The charm now, the follow-up is clean, but Stixie cleanses, and he just fires back! Oh, the 200 years reminder of that ultimate, so incredibly powerful. Golden Guardians simply too far ahead. A double and a triple, making it look good, and this should just be the end of game one.
Golden Guardians have an extremely clean game one, 17-3 in kills. R7 tried to find their fight, jumped onto Stixie, but too much defense available. 5-0, clean ace at the end of game one.
25-minute game, just about domination from start to finish for the Golden Guardians, getting everything they wanted in draft. Power picks abound. R7 sent back to the drawing board. Now in a do-or-die scenario, as Golden Guardians find themselves on match point. It's a long road to the main stage, but one step closer now.
One step closer, like you said, a lot to look at both in draft and in game for R7. We'll have to see what side they choose to move to. But I think in terms of giving up that many power picks, bit of a questionable call. They'll probably move to blue side and not have to think about what the red side bans are. But
sure, yeah. Well, I think in general, there's always kind of this debate at this point in the tournament when you've seen a lot of what teams can bring to the table. What is, conventional power picks versus pocket picks, what's going to be more important? And that was just a reminder that the stuff that's good in the meta is good for a reason. And while pocket picks are also good, sometimes you just can't let the enemy